Hey, Wimborne World Entertainment, and the road to Superman has been quite bumpy, and it's just got a little bit bumpier. Now, the movie drops next week. 1 week from today, the movie comes out. But a review embargo is in place until the 8th of July. Now, that's not a great sign. It's not terrible. And what I mean by that is, it's not great that the embargo lifts so close to the release. Now, it's not a dangerous one of, oh, it's being lifted 2 days before the movie comes out or the day off. But it's not showing a lot of confidence from Warner Brothers that it's not being lifted, say, like today. As if they were super excited about it, you normally get that week ahead of the movie's release lift on the embargo. However, what the bumpier part about this journey for this movie coming out is that the Daily Beast accidentally, at least that's what they're saying, released their reviews. Now, it only was up apparently for around 5 minutes, but that was enough time, of course, for the internet to have a good look and go, oh boy. So we're going to have a look at an article that talks about this, and it breaks it down, basically what their issues were. Now, there's no real spoilers or anything in it, like it doesn't give away the ending or anything like that, but it's not a glowing review by any means. Now, keep in mind, this is only one review, so their take on this may be the only take that's this negative. Yes, it is a negative review, but it does kind of confirm a lot of our concerns about this movie. But again, keep in mind, it's one review. But here it is anyway, saying a Superman review for James Gunn's new DCU movie apparently was accidentally released earlier, and it's not good. The Daily Beast broke the July 8 embargo set by Warner Brothers for those outlets that got to see the press screenings. Their review is titled, "The terrible new Superman movie is the final nail in the grave for the superhero genre." So not exactly an endearing title, is it? So the review is said to have been up for 5 minutes before the Daily Beast took it down. But the review is gaining waves and going viral on social media. Screenshots have surfaced online where the Superman review blasts Gunn's flick, which introduces fans to David Corenswet as the new Man of Steel and is meant to spearhead the DCU. You can also read a review from an industry insider who offers fans the opinion that fans will either love it or hate it. The Daily Beast review harshly criticizes James Gunn's Superman, calling it an overstuffed, chaotic mess that fails to revive the superhero genre. Key points include, now this is where it gets interesting, especially with some of this stuff, the film is overcrowded with characters, heroes and villains that are thinly developed. Supporting roles like Maxwell Lord, played none other by James Gunn's brother, Supergirl and Mr. Terrific are introduced without much substance. Now it's interesting before we go on that it says there that supporting roles, and Supergirl is included in the supporting role. As far as I know, she's only meant to show up at the end of the movie. Originally it was said to be a post-credit scene. It seems to now be the actual end of the movie, that she shows up like a drunken frat girl to collect crypto. But it's interesting there that they have her down as a supporting role. So it continues anyway, saying, despite sharp visuals and the use of John Williams' Superman theme, the movie lacks emotional depth and feels superficial and silly, much like the criticized versions of Justice League. The story is fragmented, tossing Superman from one bizarre situation to another, without clear narrative cohesion. Plot points include an interdimensional prison, a partnership with Metamorpho, and saving a giant-headed infant. Gunn's humour, praised for Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad, falls flat here, aside from some light moments with Crypto the Superdog. This part is interesting what it says here. David Corenswet's Superman is described as charming but slight, overshadowed by Christopher Reeves and Henry Cavill. The film's CGI-heavy action further weakens his impact. So it's interesting that they're not just comparing him to Christopher Reeves, but also to Henry Cavill. That's not a great sign for the people who've been calling for justice for Henry Cavill. So this is also interesting. The tone swings from Snyder's dark approach to a bright, cartoonish style that review calls a Saturday morning cartoon come to overstuffed helter-skelter life. Whatever the hell helter-skelter is. Superman himself is reimagined as a laid-back, well-meaning optimist who says dude and saves squirrels, rather than a Christ-like figure. The review concludes that Gunn's attempt to refresh the DC universe falls flat, suffering from the genre fatigue and failing to lay a strong narrative foundation. So this thing also says, like, it's worth to mention that this is only one review, which, yes, that is the correct thing to say. Now, we're just going to look at some, like, those parts. You know, I'm not going to jump into the whole thing about the actual review itself because, you know, it probably contains spoilers and couldn't be bothered really to kind of go through all that. But yeah, that was a lot of the fear we had going in with this movie was like, is it overstuffed? Is there far too many characters? And of course, James Gunn has pushed back against that by saying the weirdest of things of, well, Oppenheimer had a crap ton of speaking roles. It's like, whoa. The fact that, yeah, the take of Superman that we've been shown, and keep that in mind, these are the parts that they've deliberately chosen to show us, is him either looking weak, but he being either beaten or, you know, that kind of looking like he's struggling with the whole, oh, I'm doing important things, his voice cracking all the time and stuff like that, or the exact opposite end of him, like, raging out almost. We have not just seen a standard Superman standing there speaking, being very heroic and stuff like that. It's weird, the decisions they've been making for what they're going to release. They've been releasing a crap ton of clips. Wish they would stop doing that, especially seeing as every clip they take. Now, yes, we're looking at scenes out of context, but at the same time, what we're seeing isn't endearing you to the character at all. It's like, oh, why is Superman raging out again? Or it's, why is he in pain? Or why is he bleeding? All this type of stuff. The decision making for the marketing this has been horrendous. Now, there's no getting around that. The marketing for this movie has been absolutely horrendous. But the fact that all of our concerns seem to be getting pretty much laid out bare here with this review that they said at least accidentally got released, to say that yes, it's overstuffed, it's chaotic, it is a mess. Superman is charming, but he's nowhere near the level or even as good as Christopher Reeves or Henry Cavill. The CGI takes away a lot of what his impact is in the fights and stuff like that. The fact as well that they're saying the tone is all over the place, that it shifts from the dark tone to this cartoonish tone, all of this stuff, and that the humor falls flat. Everything we've been worried about seems to have been confirmed. But again, we are all going to make up our own minds when we see this movie, and again, this is one review. So look, none of us really take much notice of these type of articles and stuff that run their mouths with things like they praise stuff that the audience always hates. They hate movies that the audience always overwhelmingly loves. So it's just one of those, take into account some of the stuff they said, but still make up your own mind. And that goes for when we do reviews as well. If we review it and hate it, make up your own mind. If you enjoy it, by all means enjoy it. Don't know with some of the stuff how you could, but you know, make up your own mind. But at the same time, it does kind of, if we had these concerns and we have something confirming our concerns, yeah, it's not a great sign. So we'll see what happens. Let's see what happens with the Daily Beast, whether they get any kind of blowback from Warner Brothers in particular over this. so-called accident. It's going to be interesting. But with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So like, share, subscribe. It's much appreciated and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.